Have you ever seen a bird so dazzling it looks like it was painted by the sky itself, from jungles blazing with color to mountains hiding feathered jewels? Our planet is home to creatures so surreal they blur the line between reality and myth. Today on the Shin, we're taking you on a journey through nature's most spectacular masterpieces, the birds that don't just fly, but turn the world into living art. Are you ready to be amazed? Resplendent Quetzal, the bird that refuses to be caged. There exists a bird so dazzling, so unreal, that ancient kings treated it as a living god. The resplendent Quetzal, hidden in the misty highlands of Central America, is not just a bird, it's freedom itself made flesh. In the cloud forests of Guatemala and Costa Rica, shafts of sunlight pierce through moss-draped branches. Then an explosion of color. Not mere green, but a shimmering emerald that seems alive. Its chest glows in deep scarlet while its tail streams behind like ribbons of silk caught in the wind. To the Maya and Aztec, the Quetzal was sacred. Its feathers crowned the headdresses of kings, yet to kill one was forbidden, for they believed the bird carried the very soul of liberty. That belief lingers today. The Quetzal is honored on Guatemala's flag and currency, a symbol of independence no cage could ever hold. Yet legends whisper of darker truths. Some say when the Spanish conquest came, the Quetzal's breast turned red, stained with the blood of fallen warriors. Myth or memory etched in feathers. No one can say for sure. Imagine wandering alone in the jungle mist when a flash of jade and fire cuts across your vision. Would you call it just a bird or swear you had glimpsed something from another world? Spatula-tail hummingbird, the dancer of the Andes. Hidden in the remote valleys of northern Peru lives a bird so rare it feels like a treasure guarded by the mountains. The spatula-tail hummingbird is tiny, almost weightless, yet when it moves it commands the sky. Its wings blur faster than sight can follow, and behind it trail two extraordinary feathers tipped with violet-blue discs shaped like spoons. When sunlight catches them, the tail shimmers like twin jewels, and during courtship, the bird turns the air into a stage, swinging its feathers side to side, looping and weaving patterns, as though sketching invisible calligraphy across the Andes sky. Few creatures on Earth perform with such elegance, and even fewer people have ever witnessed it. The reason is sobering: this species is critically endangered. Its forested slopes shrink year by year, leaving perhaps only a few hundred individuals in the wild. Peru now celebrates the spatula-tail as a symbol of biodiversity, featuring it in ecotourism campaigns and conservation efforts, yet its survival remains uncertain. Legends say the bird's radiant tail was a gift from mountain spirits, a mark of beauty too fragile for the ordinary world. Watching it dance, you begin to wonder, is this truly just a hummingbird or nature's tiniest dancer weaving light itself into the air? Wilson's bird of paradise, tropical firework. On a remote island in Indonesia, hidden deep within the untouched rainforest, a spark of living fire dances across the forest floor. This is Wilson's bird of paradise, a creature so vividly colored it looks as though an artist splashed every hue of the tropics onto a single perfect canvas. Its head glows neon turquoise, crowned by a patch of bare skin that shines like polished stone. The chest blazes with scarlet wings, shimmer in black velvet, and its back glitters with golden green. But the most astonishing detail, two spiral tail wires that curl like ribbons of light completing a vision no painter could ever invent. When it comes time to attract a mate, the male clears a patch of forest ground, sweeping away every leaf, every twig. Then the show begins. He hops, flips, and twists with impossible energy, flashing his colors in a rhythm that feels less like a dance and more like a firework bursting in slow motion. Few humans have ever seen this ritual in person. The bird lives only on small islands, its world shrinking with every year, yet its performance remains one of nature's most breathtaking spectacles. Some locals believe the Wilson's bird of paradise carries the spirit of the sun, painting the rainforest with sparks of dawn. Watching it, you wonder, is this a bird, or a living celebration of life itself? Mandarin Duck, nature's living painting. They say perfection doesn't exist, but what if I told you a bird so flawless it looks painted by hand drifts quietly on the waters of Asia? This is the Mandarin Duck. A vision so unreal even the calmest pond becomes a gallery when it glides across. The male is a spectacle, eyes ringed with bold white, a beak of glowing coral, feathers that explode in a palette of copper violet and deep sapphire. And then those sails, two upright feathers rising from its back like tiny fans catching the light with every ripple of water. At dusk, when the surface turns gold, the Mandarin duck doesn't just swim, it floats like a dream. In China and Japan, this bird is more than beauty. It's a symbol of eternal love. Ancient poems praise it. Newlyweds once received carved wooden pairs as blessings, believing these ducks never abandon their mates. Scientists note their strong pair bonds, but legends elevate them into icons of devotion. Yet for all its fame, sightings in the wild feel rare, almost mystical. A sudden flash of color among reeds, a gentle wake across still water, and then it's gone. If you were standing at the edge of that pond watching this bird glide like a living brushstroke, would you see just another duck or swear you'd stumbled upon art in motion? Indian paradise flycatcher, the ghost with a tail of silk. Step into the stillness of an Asian forest, and a sudden flash of white cuts through the shadows so fluid, so unreal it feels less like a bird and more like a phantom. This is the Indian paradise flycatcher, a vision so elegant it has inspired myths for centuries. The males are unforgettable. Their plumage shifts from deep chestnut to radiant white, but it is their tails that hold you captive. Two streaming feathers 3 times the length of their bodies, drifting like silk threads caught in an endless breeze. In flight, they appear to dissolve into pure light spirits weaving between the trees. From India and Sri Lanka to the forests of Central Asia, their presence lingers in both science and legend. Folklore claims their tails are threads from heaven, proof of the divine brushing against earth. Modern admiration is no less intense. The bird is celebrated as a state symbol in India, and naturalists marvel at its acrobatics, twisting mid-air to capture insects with uncanny precision. Yet there's a haunting quality to them. Their calls slice through jungles delicate but piercing, as if the forest itself is whispering. And when they vanish into the canopy, it feels as though you've glimpsed something not meant for this world. If one of these winged phantoms crossed your path, would you dare to follow deeper into the trees or stand frozen, unsure if you'd just seen a bird or a ghost? Scarlet macaw, the burning flame of the jungle. If the rainforest had its own fire, it would not smolder with smoke but blaze with wings. The scarlet macaw streaks through Central and South America like a living flame, its feathers igniting the canopy in shades of crimson gold and cobalt. Their arrival is never subtle. A piercing call splits the silence, and suddenly the green is broken by a streak of fire. With every beat of their wings, the forest seems to spark alive. They are not quiet ornaments, but thunder wrapped in color, demanding attention from all who hear and see them. For the Maya and Aztec, these macaws embodied the sun itself. Priests wore their feathers as marks of divinity. Warriors carried them as symbols of courage. Today, their legacy continues not only in myth, but in their intelligence. They recognize faces, mimic human voices, and forge bonds that can last half a century, often outliving the very trees where they make their homes. Yet such brilliance is fragile. Logging and illegal capture have pushed them from vast stretches of their range. Conservation parks and ecotourism sanctuaries now fight to keep their flame alive, reminding us that beauty this fierce can vanish. Picture a flock rising overhead, scarlet and gold, unfurling like a storm of fire across the sky. Would you marvel at their defiance, or feel the urgency to protect the rainforest's brightest embers before they fade? Peacock, the crowned illusionist. Few creatures on Earth embody beauty as completely as the peacock. At rest, it is already striking, a tall bird cloaked in sapphire blue plumage that gleams like polished stone. But then comes the moment of transformation. The tail rises, feathers spread, and suddenly the bird becomes a living crown of light. Hundreds of iridescent eyes shimmer across the fan colors, shifting with every angle emerald, violet, gold, an illusion that feels almost supernatural. Civilizations have long bowed to its allure. In India, the peacock is sacred, a national emblem linked to gods, kings, and the monsoon rains said to follow its dance. In ancient Greece, it belonged to Hera, who placed the eyes of her watchful guardian in its feathers, granting the bird eternal majesty. Across cultures, the peacock has stood not just as decoration, but as a myth made flesh. Yet beneath the spectacle lies strategy. This breathtaking fan is the male's most powerful weapon, not for battle, but for love. Every shimmering feather is a message of vitality, every movement a performance judged by potential mates. It is theater written into survival itself. Even today, the peacock continues to mesmerize, adorning palace gardens, temple carvings, and even modern conservation parks where its brilliance is celebrated as living heritage. But when those feathers unfurl before you, glittering like a hall of shifting jewels, would you see only a bird or something closer to a miracle of nature? Northern carmine bee-eater, the crimson hunter of the skies. Across the sunlit savannas of Africa, a flash of red slices through the horizon so vivid it seems unreal. This is the northern carmine bee-eater, sleek, radiant, and unstoppable. Its feathers blaze in shades of deep crimson wings traced with black and a turquoise crown that shimmers like a jewel against the sky. Perched high on branches or sandy banks, it scans the air with a hunter's patience. Then, sudden movement. The bee-eater launches like an arrow, striking with flawless precision. Dragonflies, bees, wasps snatched mid-flight before they even realize what happened. And yet, it is not only speed that defines it, but cunning. These birds trail elephants and cattle, catching insects startled by their heavy steps. Some even perch boldly on hippos or ride larger birds, turning giants into mobile hunting posts. With a wingspan of nearly half a meter, the bee-eater is built for agility, migrating thousands of kilometers across Africa in vast seasonal waves. Local traditions see their fiery colors as symbols of persistence and vitality, a reminder of life's resilience under the harshest suns. But the true marvel comes at dusk. Along the Nile or Sahel wetlands, hundreds rise together, their scarlet wings igniting the sky in motion. The air hums, the plains glow, and for a moment you wonder, are you watching a flock of birds or witnessing the sky itself transform into living color? Victoria crowned pigeon, the royal of the rainforest. In the shadowed rainforests of Papua New Guinea, a bird appears draped in sapphire and crowned with lace. This is the Victoria crowned pigeon, the largest pigeon on Earth, standing nearly 70 centimeters tall, cloaked in deep blue feathers with a chest brushed in maroon. From its head rises a crest so delicate it gleams like silver filigree, giving it the bearing of a sovereign walking the forest floor. Unlike the city pigeons we pass without a glance, this giant demands reverence. Weighing over 2 kilograms, it moves with calm authority, while its low, resonant calls roll through the jungle like ancient drums. To local belief, those calls are not mere sounds but the voices of ancestors' guardians woven into the forest's heartbeat. Yet even a bird dressed like royalty is not safe. Hunted for its ornate plumes and pressured by the steady loss of rainforest, its numbers decline and conservationists race to protect it, not just as a species, but as a living emblem of Papua New Guinea's natural crown. To see one in the wild is to step into myth, a blue giant crowned in lace eyes, calm yet commanding. And if it emerged before you on a jungle path, would you think of it as just a bird or a ruler of the rainforest walking in silence? Rainbow lorikeet, a living brushstroke of color. Along Australia's coasts and city gardens, a flash of color streaks across the branches so vivid it seems painted by hand. This is the rainbow lorikeet, a parrot draped in impossible hues. Scarlet chest, sapphire head, emerald wings, and a splash of golden orange across its belly. In sunlight, its feathers gleam like wet paint, every movement a living brushstroke against the sky. Small but striking at just 30 centimeters long, lorikeets travel in noisy flocks, their shrill screeches and bubbling calls turning quiet parks into carnivals of sound. At dusk, they swarm into towns by the hundreds, carpeting trees in shifting mosaics of color and chatter. Yet beneath the chaos lies purpose. With tongues tipped like fine brushes, they feed on nectar and pollen, pollinating eucalyptus and rainforest blossoms, keeping Australia's wild heart alive. To many, they are bringers of joy, tiny spirits said to scatter happiness wherever they pass. And when you stand beneath a tree, heavy with their brilliance wings flashing like stained glass in motion, it feels less like watching birds, and more like witnessing the forest itself celebrate. So if one of these rainbow messengers landed before you, what would you see first, a parrot, a miracle of color, or the spirit of joy itself? Kingfisher, the flash of the river. A flash of electric blue cuts across the riverbank, so sudden, so sharp, you might think your eyes played a trick. But no, it's real. The kingfisher, a jewel with wings, is one of nature's most breathtaking hunters. Its plumage glows with iridescent blues and fiery oranges, colors so vivid they seem unreal against the still water. And then silence shatters. The bird dives like a bullet, slicing into the river without a ripple, and emerges with a wriggling fish in its beak. Precision, perfection, poetry in motion. Found across Europe. Asia and beyond, the kingfisher is tiny, barely larger than a fist, yet it carries centuries of myth. Ancient Greeks believed it calmed the seas, calling it the halcyon bird. Even today, halcyon days mean times of peace and calm, a gift said to come when this bird nested near the shore. Some cultures saw it as a messenger between water and sky, a spirit of balance and luck. Its beauty hides a fierce truth. Kingfishers are relentless hunters, watching from a perch with unblinking eyes, until the perfect moment arrives. No wasted movement, no second chances, just one flawless strike. Now picture this. If you stood by a river at dawn and saw a kingfisher's sudden blue streak vanish into the mist, would you take it as mere chance or a sign meant just for you? Lilac-breasted roller, the sky painter. Some birds carry beauty. This one carries the sky itself. The lilac-breasted roller, found across the African savanna, looks like it was pieced together from fragments of dawn and sunset. Its chest glows with soft lilac wings, shimmer in turquoise and emerald, and its twin tail feathers trail behind like sapphire ribbons. When sunlight catches its plumage, it doesn't just fly, it streaks across the horizon like a comet painted in living light. But this brilliance has always been more than decoration. In African traditions, the roller was a sign of peace, a gift from the heavens. Chiefs once prized its feathers as symbols of power and divine blessing. Even today, safari travelers fall into hushed awe when one appears, cameras raised as if to prove they weren't dreaming. Then comes its greatest trick, the aerial performance. In courtship, the roller transforms the air into a stage, plunging in dramatic dives, twisting and spiraling like a feathered acrobat. Each move is part duel, part dance, an explosion of grace that turns the wide savanna into its theater. Yet behind the spectacle lies a hunter's patience. From a high perch, it waits for the smallest flicker of movement, an insect, a lizard, even a frog, and strikes with sudden precision. Now imagine you looked up and saw the horizon erupt in violet, emerald, and sapphire. Would you call it a bird, or swear that the sky itself was painting before your eyes? Nicobar pigeon, the living gem of forgotten islands. Erase the image of the gray city pigeon pecking at crumbs. The Nicobar pigeon is its dazzling opposite, a creature wrapped in molten emerald, sapphire, and bronze. Each feather catches the light like polished metal, shifting colors with every angle. And at the tip of this living jewel, a stark white tail, as if nature signed its masterpiece with a single brushstroke of light. These birds are found only on remote islands scattered across Southeast Asia. The Nicobars, Palau, the Andamans, places steeped in myth and mystery. But their story carries a haunting echo. Genetic traces reveal they are the closest living relatives of the dodo, that legendary bird erased from Mauritius centuries ago. To see one glide through the jungle is like watching a phantom of the past, a survivor carrying the memory of a vanished world. They travel in tight flocks, their wings producing a strange whirring sound, silken metallic like ghostly fans slicing the air. Feeding on fruits and seeds, they scatter life across the forest floor, guardians of the ecosystems they call home. Yet their brilliance is also their burden. Hunted for meat, trapped for trade, and hemmed in by shrinking forests, their future teeters between survival and silence. So when sunlight explodes across their plumage, turning them into shards of living fire, you must ask yourself, are you witnessing resilience carved by time or a fragile beauty standing on the edge of disappearance? Toko toucan, the beak of the tropics. It looks almost too strange to be real, like a splash of fire painted onto the rainforest. The Toko toucan, with its enormous beak blazing in neon orange, seems like a dream conjured by a child's imagination. That bill is nearly half the bird's body length, glowing like sunrise breaking through the jungle canopy. But behind the spectacle lies genius. The beak is lightweight, yet strong, a tool for reaching fruit on distant branches, a radiator to release heat in the tropical sun, and a signal of dominance that no rival can ignore. Perched high in South America's canopy, the toucan is both trickster and monarch. Its glossy black feathers and stark white chest form the perfect stage for that fiery bill, a living symbol of contrast, ink and flame fused into one. For many indigenous peoples, this bird was never a curiosity, but a sacred messenger. Its radiant beak said to hold the fire of the sun and carry prayers between the worlds of humans and spirits. Watch it move, and its oddity becomes elegance. It hops with surprising grace, flipping berries into the air and catching them with perfect precision. Then comes its voice, not the melody of a songbird, but a guttural, croaking call that resonates like an ancient code hidden in the leaves. So picture this. The rainforest, dark and endless, when suddenly a flash of burning orange appears between the branches. Would you see just a comical bird, or sense the jungle itself speaking through a beak of flame? Golden pheasant, the flame of the forest. A sudden blaze of scarlet and gold flickers through the pine forests of China's mountains, and for a heartbeat, you could swear a phoenix had descended from legend. This is the golden pheasant, a bird so radiant it seems woven from fire and silk. Its golden crest falls like a crown of molten light. Its cloak shimmers with crimson and emerald, and its long tail streams behind like ribbons painted across the air. Every step feels rehearsed, as if the forest floor were its stage and the mist its curtain. Native to the mist-veiled ranges of western China, this pheasant has carried centuries of myth. In the days of emperors, its feathers symbolized majesty and fortune, often likened to dragons or the immortal phoenix. Some tales claimed its sudden appearance heralded prosperity. Others believed it was a messenger between heaven and earth. Even today, despite its fiery brilliance, the bird remains shrouded in mystery, rarely seen in the wild, a secret jewel hidden within the shadows of ancient pines. Its beauty is matched by paradox. Elusive and shy, it vanishes into silence just as quickly as it dazzles the eye. To glimpse one is not just to encounter wildlife, it feels like stumbling into a vision. So imagine standing in the hush of the forest when a flash of gold and scarlet dissolves into the mist. Would you dismiss it as a bird or carry the memory as proof that perhaps myths sometimes walk among us? And there you have it. The most breathtaking birds on our planet, each one a reminder that nature is the greatest artist of all. From shimmering wings to fiery feathers, these creatures don't just exist. They inspire wonder, legends, and dreams. Which of these winged wonders captured your heart the most? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned with the Shin for more journeys into the unbelievable beauty of our world.